Ezekiel chapter 8. Idolatry in the temple. In the 6th year, in the 6th month, on the 5th day, while I was sitting in my house and the elders of Judah were sitting before me, the hand of the sovereign Lord came upon me there. I looked and I saw a figure like that of a man. From what appeared to be his waist down, he was like fire, and from there up his appearance was as bright as glowing metal. He stretched out what looked like a hand and took me by the hair of my head. The Spirit lifted me up between earth and heaven, and in visions of God he took me to Jerusalem, to the entrance to the north gate of the inner court, where the idol that provokes to jealousy stood. And there before me was the glory of God, the glory of the God of Israel, as in the vision I had seen in the plain. I am a little congested today, so let's continue to read. Then he said to me, Son of man, look toward the north. So I looked, and in the entrance north of the gate of the altar I saw this idol of jealousy. And he said to me, Son of man, do you see what they are doing? The utterly detestable things the house of Israel is doing here, things that will drive me far from my sanctuary. But you will see things that are even more detestable. Okay, yeah, so take note of all this, because this is very important. Let's continue. Then he brought me to the entrance to the court. I looked and I saw a hole in the wall. He said to me, Son of man, now dig into the wall. So I dug into the wall and I saw a doorway there. And he said to me, Go in and see the wicked and detestable things they are doing here. So I went in and looked, and I saw portrayed all over the walls all kinds of crawling things and detestable animals and all the idols of the house of Israel. In front of them stood 70 elders of the house of Israel, and Jazanah, son of Shaphan, was standing among them. Each had a censer in his hand, and a fragrant cloud of incense was rising. He said to me, Son of man, have you seen what the elders of the house of Israel are doing in the darkness? Each at the shrine of his own idol? They say, The Lord does not see us. The Lord has forsaken the land. Again he said, You will see them doing things that are even more detestable. Then he brought me to the entrance to the north gate of the house of the Lord, and I saw women sitting there, mourning for Tammuz. He said to me, Do you see this, son of man? You will see things that are even more detestable than this. He then brought me into the inner court of the house of the Lord, and there at the entrance to the temple between the portico and the altar were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord and their faces toward the east. They were bowing down to the sun in the east. He said to me, Have you seen this, son of man? Is it a trivial matter for the house of Judah to do the detestable things they are doing here? Must they also fill the land with violence and continually provoke me to anger? Look at them putting the branch to their nose. Therefore I will deal with them in anger. I will not look on them with pity or spare them. Although they shout in my ears, I will not listen to them. So, as we can see, Israel, Judah, at this time, Jerusalem, the people in Jerusalem, the leaders, the elders, the people there were not worshiping the Lord. They were doing what they wanted to do. So much so that they were utilizing the Lord's temple to do all of these detestable things. So, breaking some of this down with some information. Then he said to me, Son of man, look toward the north. So I looked in the entrance north of the gate of the altar. I saw this idol of jealousy. So there was an idol in the temple, and not just one. He said, and he said to me, Son of man, do you see what they are doing? The utterly detestable things the house of Israel is doing here, things that will drive me far from my sanctuary. And then he continues. Goes to the next thing. He makes them dig a hole into the wall, and he looks in, and he sees all kinds of images all over the walls, all kinds of crawling things and detestable animals and all the idols of the house of Israel. So all these other gods, all these other things that they created. Some scholars believe they were like demons, even. They were monstrous things. And they were doing incense to them in the temple. So here's the Lord showing Ezekiel exactly what's going on. Like as clear as day. Like the Lord's like, do they not know that my presence is here? Do they not understand it? They know, but they refuse. They refuse, so they blocked me out. They've blocked the Lord is there. The Lord is there, and they refuse to acknowledge him. So much so that even the next one, the women who were crying for Tammuz, which again is a god of a whole nother nation, supposedly, and that was not real, but something that was dark, something that was I believe some Bible scholars believe that was part of the whole Tammuz and Molech were part of the whole detestable acts of burning the children, sacrificing people, sacrificing children. In which the Lord over and over again has said repeatedly, that's not even a thought in my mind. That is, these people that's wicked. That's wickedness. He's showing Ezekiel wickedness. And this is besides all of the not protecting the widower, the elderly, not taking care of their elderly, not giving to the poor, enslaving people, not helping the migrant, not everything opposite of what the commandments tell us. Love. They're full of hate, greed, envy, jealousy, all of that, murder. They're doing all of this. And then he continues. He's like, okay, so he gets brought into another area of the temple so he then brought me into the inner court of the house of the Lord, and there at the entrance to the temple between the portico and the altar were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of the Lord and their faces toward the east. They were bowing down to the sun in the east. They were bowing down and worship to something that was created for people, for us, for the earth. So we have night and day. And the Lord said, don't worship the things I created. They're creation. Worship me and me only. I'm the creator. Hello. I am the good shepherd. But they didn't want that because why? They wanted to justify themselves. They felt like they needed to do some type of religious thing, but following the commandments of the Lord, that was too difficult. So let's make our own so we can be justified and holy in our own image, in our own way. Think about that. That's how wicked the Israel, Jerusalem, Judah had become. Bringing past to present. When we choose to do things our own way, we get blinded to the wickedness that comes out because we're justified, right? We're doing things how we want to do those things. We're getting what we wanted, right? So when we see that in others as well, we can see a cause and effect. We can see that there is a drive for something, so much so that they are bound and determined to do whatever it is without fear of any consequences, because those consequences, they're not going to happen to me. Think about that. Think about how blind and lost someone can get when it comes to stubbornness, when it comes to arrogance, when it comes to wicked pride. Think about those things and seek the Lord and his guidance. Pray for those people. Pray for ourselves. Before we go on, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel and what does it make you think?